I think from the next perspective, it would be great to hear from Commissioner Nash. That way we can kind of walk down the line of kind of where we are and the maturity essentially of the market.
So some of you here may be familiar with the makeup of the commission, but for those who are not, I want to share who we are. The commission is comprised of 5 commissioners and an executive director, all appointed by Governor Murphy. Prior to joining the commission, Chairwoman Diana Waynew was a senior policy advisor to Governor Murphy, as well as policy counsel to the New Jersey ACLU. Vice Chair Sam Delgado was a longtime Verizon executive and also Marine veteran. Commissioner Charles Barker served as a constituent advocate for Senator Cory Booker's office, and Maria Del Cincoso served as the Director of Policy and Legislative Services at the New Jersey Department of Health. I am a licensed clinical social worker, and I previously served as the director of a residential facility for formerly incarcerated individuals with co-occurring disorders. Each of us brings a unique lens to our work at the commission. I mean, you cannot deny that cannabis intersects with health and policy and certainly criminal justice and substance use and mental health, right? So here we have collectively a group of commissioners that understand these issues. The commissioner's executive director, Jeff Brown, oversees the staff, functions, and operations of the commission. So let's talk about the regulatory process, how decisions are made. The commission was formed in April of 2021, and we literally had to build the plane while we were flying it. We had a 180-day deadline to draft and adopt rules to guide New Jersey's nascent industry. And due to these tight timelines dictated by the CREAM Act, the legislation that serves as the framework for New Jersey's adult use market, the commission felt that developing regulations on every single topic, it just was not practicable. We needed to prioritize the initial rules. The commission went to great lengths to hear from regulators in other jurisdictions, lawmakers, and stakeholders, including cannabis experts, advocacy groups, community organizers, faith leaders, and local government officials about what rules we should initially adopt. As a result of this collaboration, we adopted our initial rules in just 5 months of the commission's formation. In February of 2023, just recently, the commission adopted its permanent rules with input from over 1,000 public commenters during the 60-day public comment period. What I like about that most is, I don't know if that's because I'm a social worker, but it's really important to have the public collaborate in this process. We are not on a days as commissioners. We are the people of New Jersey, side by side with them. So we then issued a notice of application, which sets forth the eligibility requirements, prioritization processes, and application requirements, including a list of necessary forms and supporting documents, and the scoring methodology, and how approval is or denial is determined. Pursuant to the CREAM Act, any other information the commission deems relevant in determining whether to grant license to an applicant. To date, we have accepted applications for retail, manufacturing, cultivation, and testing labs. For the remaining license categories, we are working on preparing a notice of application. Hopefully that will be released soon for distribution, wholesale, and delivery. Let's talk about the challenges. There have been numerous challenges of working within a regulatory framework. Some things are not always within the commission's control. I will say I appreciate working with the state, but coming from the private sector, nonprofit, it's been a little bit of a challenge. Home grow is not allowed in New Jersey, and it's not included in legislation. I'm proud to say that the CREAM Act was really a great start, and I think it's one of the premier legislation. But we're talking about social equity and safety and our core values of the CREAM Act. And I don't think you can talk social justice when you're denying patients the right to affordable medication. And I don't know the reason why it wasn't included, so I'm only amplifying what has been reported to us during public comment periods. We hear it from advocacy groups. And let's face it, I'm going to be generous here. If you have to spend $200 a month, and we know it's much higher in New Jersey, for medication. People can't afford that. I mean, that's a lot of money. So we amplify it because constituents of the legislature need to hear this. They need to be heard, and that is social justice. So that is why I'm sharing today. Technical assistance. This, many of you may know, this market is really difficult, the regulated market. And technical assistance was a big need and something we recognized early on. The application process alone is not easy. Applicants must submit 2 applications, one to the state, and we're hearing about the complicated processes in the municipalities, write SOPs. I have never written an SOP, so I know that, and we hear of the challenges of that. Negotiating leases, navigating municipal meetings, and much, much more. So for some, they may have the soft skills and the product knowledge, but without the necessary hard skills, we would be setting them up for failure. In response, the Commission designated the New Jersey Business Action Center to provide no-cost technical assistance, training, and mentorship support to high-priority review categories to take them step by step through the application process. Another hurdle that applicants face is navigating the municipal process. Municipalities have the option to opt in or out by a certain date, and many of them chose not to opt in. Some took a wait and see approach, which is understandable, until the rules were complete. And still, people cannot find a home to set up shop. So they're waiving these conditional licenses, but they don't have any place to go. We are meeting with municipal officials to educate them. I'd say remove the stigma, if I may. While it is understandable that a local leader has a high level of comfort with an experienced business and will reap the municipal tax benefits, there should be more consideration given to members of the community, even if it means carving out incubator space. We serve as a liaison between the municipalities and the commission to motivate people. What has surprised me most is the tenacity of the applicants. I have mentioned only a few of the hurdles many needed to overcome. I know that there are some here today whose are their testimonials to their persistence. So, one significant challenge also identified early on was in response to the economics of the cannabis industry. That was equally as important as technical assistance. The capital needed to open a dispensary can easily begin at $1 million. Startup capital of cultivation facility considerably higher. These numbers are a heavy lift for many, but especially those who live in economically disadvantaged areas, a priority demographic. In response, the Commission established an Access to Capital working group to remove this barrier, and we did just that. The work group comprised of commissioners and staff met with New Jersey economic development officials over a year ago to relay the issues that were being communicated up to us. The New Jersey Equity Grant Program is a $10 million pilot program that is open to conditional and annual New Jersey recreational cannabis license holders. It will utilize a state appropriation to support new businesses in the cannabis industry for their startup and operational costs during the first 3 years of operation. 24 $250,000 grants to those farther along in the application process, and 24 $150,000 grants to startups, maybe in the early stages of application. The Commission recognizes the importance of engaging in dialogue with applicants, licensees, stakeholders, and others to understand unique aspects of the industry. So we have an Office of Diversity and Inclusion headed up by the wonderful Wesley McWhite. He and his staff have developed an amazing rapport with many individuals, but what I think is really cool is with legacy operators. People call them legacy operators, I call them pioneers. We also encourage public comment during public meetings, and we get a lot of feedback, sometimes not so favorable to the Commission, but feedback is really important to us. One thing I'm really excited about is that the Commission, the board, has started to tour licensed business facilities, and it has been such a great opportunity to meet the people who have worked so hard to become operational, and we get to admire the fruits of their labor. We've only seen them on paper through the application process, a driver's license, what have you, and to get to talk to them has been really special. We have put into place mechanisms to communicate and answer questions with applicants and licensees through several channels. We accept applications on a rolling basis. Our process is non-competitive, so there is no rush for applications. However, we encourage everyone interested in starting a cannabis business to learn as much as possible before applying for a license. The New Jersey CRC website is the ideal place to start. On the website, potential applicants can access FAQs. We have webinars showing people how to do things, how to complete the application. We have a support system for what we call cures, and we have approximately 1,600 cure letters sent out. We have been calling the applicants, our team has been calling the applicants to help them through the process. The cannabis industry is a tough business, and I'm learning as we continue to grow. We view ourselves as a liaison with the cannabis business community, and we don't want to be a barrier. And I think that is showing as we tour these facilities and, meet the people who are licensed. They're looking at us like we're the commissioners, but when they talk to us and we're trying to learn from them, really just brings it down to a more human level.